It was the bitter winter of 1777, and the Continental Army found itself camped at Valley Forge, a place that would test their courage, their loyalty, and their resolve. The War of Independence had dragged on for over 2 long years, the victories sporadic and the losses mounting. General George Washington knew the coming months could make or break not just his army, but the dream of a nation born free. The snow lay heavy across the camp, blanketing the frostbitten ground and muting the sounds of soldiers shivering. Washington paced inside a humble tent, the weight of his leadership etched in the lines of his face. His troops were starving, their clothes tattered, and morale at its lowest ebb. Disease swept through the ranks like an invisible foe, claiming more lives than any British musket ever could. Yet amidst the desperation, a quiet resilience persisted. Washington wrote letter after letter to Congress, begging for supplies, boots, blankets, flour, anything to keep the men alive. And while the response was slow, he reminded himself that leadership wasn't about appearances, it was about being present, steadfast. So every morning, despite the snow stinging his face and the biting wind gnawing at his bones, Washington walked among his men, speaking words of encouragement, never letting his own doubts show. One soldier, Private William Haynes, embodied the grit of Valley Forge. Haynes was barely 18, his frame slight but his spirit indomitable. On nights too cold to sleep, he whispered verses by the campfire, stoking both its flames and the weary hearts of his comrades.
We fight for our future. One day they'll remember what we stood for.
By springtime, the army had transformed. Baron von Steuben, a Prussian officer, had arrived to drill the troops with rigorous discipline. Haynes and the others embraced the training, their movements sharp, their confidence growing. The trials of Valley Forge didn't destroy the Continental Army, they remade it. And as Washington led his troops out of that icy fortress, he carried with him not just a stronger army, but an unshakable belief that freedom wouldn't come without sacrifice, but it would come.